Good afternoon. Today we're going to be working on how to use a scanner in Java. And so we've already created the basic framework for that. We've got our scanner review project with its package and associated runner file already ready to go, so we can have that already prepared for us. So we don't have to go over all those steps. And we're going to make a scanner and how to use it. So the first thing that we need to do when we're using a scanner is we have to make sure, of course, that we import the scanner file for it. And so right after our package, we go up here and we have the import statement, import, and then java.util, and we can do asterisk, and that will get us directly into the entire folder for it. But today we're going to do just .scanner, and that tells us to import only information to make a scanner object. And so we have that information ready to go, and as you can see, it's underlined because it's not yet being used, but we'll take care of that in just a second. Now, a scanner is an object, and we need to make sure we have that object initialized and declared, so we'll have our declaration section. And we will declare a scanner object. It's going to be private and a scanner, and we'll call it, say, review scanner. Crazy name. And we'll have a private string, and we will call that response. And one called question, and a semicolon. We'll make our constructor. And our constructor is going to be named Scanner Project because it's the same name as our class and they have to match. It is a public constructor. And so we'll say review scanner is a new scanner. So we'll use the assignment operator, the keyword new. So we're making a brand new object. And then what kind of object? A scanner object. And we have to pass it information, and we're going to use the keyboard for the scanner, so we're going to pass it system.in, which gives us the default input for the computer, in this case our keyboard. Save that. And we don't need to worry about giving information to our question or response. Those can be initialized in a bit. And so we have our start method. And in our start, we're going to go ahead and we'll call a question to say, ask some questions. So we'll make a method ask questions. And display. And we have a method called display answers. And they're obviously highlighted red because they don't exist yet, so let's go ahead and make them. So it's a public. Oh, we make it private because it doesn't need to happen anywhere else. Private, and it's a void, and we'll call it ask questions. Parens, squiggles, and the squiggles match up vertically because they identify where the current method or block of code starts and ends. Keep track of all of that. And we'll send an information out to the text. So system.out.println. And what is the airspeed of an African swallow? And then we'll say response equals, and then we'll use our scanner, so that's the review scanner. And we're going to just take the first word, and so that's going to be .nextLine, or .next for the first word. And so response equals review scanner.next, and that'll get the first word that we type in and store it inside response. And then we will go to our next method. It's private, it's also void, and it's called display answers. And notice now that I've declared it, the red underline goes away. It's no longer an undefined method, and so we can use that. And we will say system.out.println, and we will print out the response. And so we have just a quick little chunk of methods, one that asks a question, one that prints an answer. And what is the airspeed of an African swallow? And to make sure this looks even nicer, we'll go ahead and we'll add to this. and we'll say the speed is, and then we'll put quotes right there, and quotes right here, and we'll use the concatenation operator, aka a plus sign. And so the speed is response, and we'll go ahead and hit save, get that saved, and we will play it. It's a Java application. We say OK. What is the airspeed of an African swallow? Is it carrying a coconut? The speed is what? What is wrong with this? I use next, and like I said, it only took the first word. Very good, gentlemen and ladies. So we want to have this actually get the full answer. And so to change that, we'll go back into our code, and instead of .next, we'll use nextLine. That one small change, save and play again. And what is the airspeed of an African swallow? Is it carrying a coconut? Question mark, enter. The speed is it carrying a coconut? Aha! So we have now made a quick little structure that processes input. We have it ask the question, system.print, what is the airspeed of an African swallow? And then we have an answer that gets stored when we call this method. So the method is actually being called on the right-hand side of the equal sign that acts and then shoves that value inside our variable of response, which we are then able to display in our display answers method right here. The speed is and then response. That same variable, if I click on it right here, you can see is highlighted right here and originally declared up here in our declaration section. So by using the variable to catch that information, we're able to put that out there. And we'll have access to it throughout the code because we declared it as a class variable. So I can use that multiple times or redefine it as necessary. And we had a difference between next and nextLine. So let's have another question right here. And we're going to do, what is this airspeed of the African swallow? Rather than that is the African swallow carrying something? So we'll do a system.out.println. And let's see, what is your favorite color? As you can tell, I'm in a bit of a Monty Python mood. And we'll change that to be response 2. And response 1. And we'll change this right here. And I'm going to take that whole line of code, copy it, and paste it. And we're going to have response 1 is .next, because our color is a single word for sure. And instead of what is this airspeed of an African swallow, we will, that's another good line. Yeah, a good line just in general. Monty Python's great, but if there's what? Oh yeah, that is much better. That's actually one that you have to. What is your quest? That actually makes sense for this then. So we have system.println. What is your favorite color? Which is a single word response. So we are using the .next. And then our next question, what is your quest, is a multi-word question response. So instead on that one, we're using the .nextLine. And so we'll have our display answers. And the favorite color is that. And it's response 1. And copy and paste again. Paste. Change that to response 2. And the quest is response 2. So now we've got that ready to go. We have a scanner. We are collecting information from the keyboard. We are passing it to these variables that we've defined up here in our declaration section and calling them again in a separate method, and we're making these methods private because they only need to be seen inside the class. So we're using some good programming strategies. We'll hit play again after saving. What is your favorite color? Blue. What is your quest? To seek. I see a problem. I can't write. Uh-oh. What could cause this? Let's go back in here. This is a good one. What is your favorite color? Blue. What is your quest? To find the Grail. The favorite color is blue. The quest is to find the Grail. Dun 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 dun. And so the problem with that is we have the .next method and the .nextLine are catching extra information. And it bypasses the thing saying, oh, we've already done this. It's already there. And so we have to find a way of flushing that. And so one of the easy ways to do that is to simply use the nextLine for that for the string, or we can have it go out and call that same method and not catch the answer. Skipping the .line and call review scanner .nextLine semi. So I'm just catching the next line and doing nothing with it. Let's see if that will catch it. And blue. What is your quest? Green is the quest. And it caught it properly. That next line cleared the buffer. But when you're getting input from the keyboard, there's that extra enter key that's hidden inside the actual operating system that you don't have to worry about, that you have to worry about when using Scanner. So that was actually pretty good. So we added this new little feature. So if we are using a .next then a nextLine, we have to flush out that buffer. We flush that buffer out by using the review scanner.nextLine before we even ask the next question, and it properly flushes the buffer so we can actually use it. So we ask the question, store a word in .next or using .next, flush the buffer to get rid of that extra /n that's stored inside the keyboard input, and then print the next question and catch that answer and store it into its associated string. And printing those out there on the display.